Samara Weaving is back in Ready or Not 2, and it comes in on the tomato meter at a 74%, 91 by the audience. So a lot of fans out there are enjoying this movie. So I would say that if you like the first movie, then you're going to probably like this movie. If you are a fan of Team Radio Silence, the directors who brought us Scream 5, 6, and Abigail, and this first movie here, then you'll probably like this movie. If you are a fan of Samara Weaving and you like this whole concept, you saw the trailers for this, where it was kind of like, okay, her sister's involved, all these new rich people are going to be after her to kill her. And it's cool that we get to see Sarah Michelle Gellar. Elijah Wood is also really good in this movie. And it's just turn off your brain fun of just the pure audacity of the situation that draws you in, that says, okay, uh, these people who claim to be of this cult are going to be chasing these people around, trying to kill them, and there's going to be outrageous kills, and there definitely is. The synopsis says, after surviving one deadly game, Grace and her sister Faith must now outrun four rival families competing for a powerful throne. Winner takes all. And Samara Weaving is the standout. Uh, he's got tremendous screen presence, and it really shows in this one. It really does, because this movie would not work as well if it wasn't for her and her ability just to be scared, but then kind of like, I don't really want to be doing this. And sadly, I think the weakest part is probably Catherine Newton. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her, because we've seen from these other directors that they like to use the similar actors. And she was in Abigail. And Abigail, uh, we know that she can act. We know that she can push herself into different realms and different modes of acting where it's like, okay, so she's got range. This time around, though, I think it's the script. The script kind of lets them down a little bit, where for some reason she's smiling and laughing and joking about uh, being hunted, and it's like, you're in a very dangerous situation here. You're screaming and you're laughing and like not taking it seriously. And you're like, well, James, that's the way it's supposed to be. Turn off your brain and just watch it. Don't try to think about it in a too serious of a tone. But the movie wants us to at times take it seriously, because there's this rift between the two sisters, and there's an explanation why the sister was never mentioned in the first film, kind of covering their tracks script wise. But they try to play up that drama of, oh, I didn't call you, I didn't talk to you, I'm sorry that these things happen, and they try to play up that serious nature of it, and that mishmash of, okay, we're taking this seriously. Oh no, we're all kind of joking around and funny about the situation, which it is. There's some ridiculous moments in this, and it's also really cool to see that Sarah Michelle Gellar's back on screen acting. I thought it was a lot of fun, but you get a lot of like, yeah, this is not a serious tone, because we're watching people blow up, we're watching people die, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously. And then they want us to have these few threads where it's very serious, and it just, for me, I felt like that script um, needed to be handled a little bit tighter, and I think the directors kind of let that down, because, as I said, there's times where she's smiling about people shooting at her, and you're like, this doesn't fit. And we know it's not Catherine Newton's problem, because we know she can act. Uh, I blame the script and I blame the directors for this. So while the audience score is really high, 91%, and I think if you're just fans of the movie, if you're fans of the first movie, fans of Team Radio Silence, then you're just going to be like, yeah, James, yeah, you're analyzing it too deep. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a cinephile. I watch movies all the time, guys. I see almost everything, so it's kind of like, okay, I got to call it for what it is. And for me, I think that mishmash, I'd have to say that this is probably the weakest film out of that Team Radio Silence that I've seen in a while. But if you just want to turn off your brain and enjoy it, Fine, go ahead. Uh, One other criticism that I'll tell you right up off the bat or out of the gate here is that it's long. It's an hour and 48 minutes. I felt like this could have been cut down quite a bit, um, maybe to an hour and 35 minutes. There's some stuff in there with the drama stuff. It's obviously, yeah, it goes back to that drama stuff of where it's like, was it really necessary to try to infuse this with that? I don't know. I don't know. And it's going to be lost because most people just don't want to hear this kind of harsh criticism or critiques of what this movie is. They just want to turn off your brain, forget about it tomorrow, and that will be it for Ready or Not 2. It seriously will be. But let's go into the score sheet here. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. The acting serves the movie. There's nothing Shakespearean in here. There's nothing in here that makes you go, you got to check it out for this one scene, man, because the acting here, like, it's all competently done. Elijah Wood is great. Samara Weaving is great, but it's like nothing, nothing in here that makes you go, okay, okay. Um, and the directing, it's competently shot. There's a warning in the beginning about having flashiness because there's some scenes in here where they're in nightclubs. There's a casino part where it's like all flashy and stuff like that. It's handled well, but the execution of the story, you got to remember this is a sequel. So they try to recap the events of the first movie for people who may not have seen it in such a way of it's being redundant to us fans, right? Well, we know that this happened. Why are you talking about it? Well, because they're trying to address the fact that they've got to reestablish the first act again, right? And it's not a story beat that just picks up. It tries to pick up where it left off, but it's also got to relay the information like the previously on Ready or Not kind of angle to it, right? Uh, and then by the end, there's a really cool idea that they were trying to pull off at the end that I think if you had some grit, if you tried to take a big swing and say, okay, do you really think that they're going to die by the end? Do you really think that they're going to die by the end? So what do you think is going to happen to them? And if you took that big swing and said, okay, that would make it more interesting. I think that would have been a more interesting story, but it plays out pretty much the way that you would think. So therefore, I can't really award the story all that much. How do you think it's going to go down? Do you really think that they're going to lose at the end? Do you really think that? No. So cinematography is fine. Score is fine. So we're sitting at 4 out of 10. Oh, James, that's a little bit low. I might reserve the right to come back to the acting. Maybe. Maybe. Well, let's head on over to the tomato meter here and try to make some sense as to why the scores are so high for this movie. Let's take a look at the critics. The kills here are as elaborate as in the first outing, and the depictions of moral decrepitude are so on target at times you all but want to stand up and cheer when the evildoers get served their dues. Ready or Not 2 goes harder than the original. I don't know. I think I kind of enjoyed the first one better, but I mean, this is like an okay sequel. Oh, some critics here who didn't like it. I get that this is supposedly a comedy with the extreme violence and gore part of the fun, but here's a tip: have some actual wit. Yeah, the wit in here. There's stuff in here that you're supposed to be laughing at, and I didn't find myself laughing. Some people may. Some people may. But and the parts that are supposed to be funny is the gore, how people are dying, people getting brutally uh, killed. That's the funny. It's funny, right? It's for me. I wasn't there. I wasn't uh, interpreting it that way. There's a scene in which a woman is beaten up for too long of that kind of stuff. Noteworthy more for its carnage than its cleverness. This follow-up lacks the freshness of its predecessor while falling into some typical sequel trappings. Yeah, but let's go over to some other notable critics here. Jeremy Johns says it lost what made the first movie, Ready or Not, fun. Yeah, as I said, they were trying to take swings here with the gore and saying, "Well, this is funny stuff." But then it's contrasted, it's juxtaposed by those serious scenes of these sisters trying to have like family moments. and it just felt disjointed. If you actually sit back and look at that script and you're like, this is not a good script, guys. It's not about the script, James. It's just about people being chased and getting murdered and worrying the hunting of the game kind of thing. Amy Nicholson, no spoilers, but it's no coincidence that Here I Come finally gets more interesting once it tires of hide and seek, finding fresh plot twists. The only way it ekes out a draw. But as I said, most people are just going to turn off their brain and listen to this. But I need to point out here that look at all these critics here that are coming in with these points where it's not as fresh as you would think based on that score here in the front, 74% by critics, 91 by the audience. And yes, it's going to be one of those movies you'll be like, okay, it's fun. I'm having fun, but you're not going to remember it, man. There's nothing that would be like, oh, this is going to be something that I want to watch year after year. It's not going to be one of those. As much as the audience says that you think that you shall. As expected, I knew this was going to be on the same caliber as the first movie. It's funny, suspenseful, and bloody. Well, I wouldn't say it's even suspenseful because you know that they're going to live, right? If you like the first one, you'll enjoy this one too. We absolutely loved it. Yeah, and that's what we're getting here. But let's get to some audience scores who maybe echo the sentiments of what I've been trying to convey here. First act was great, but there's way too much forced exposition into the second act. Third act, we're doing telenovela cringe. And you did not just do that to Buffy. Yeah. I think, again, there's some really cool ideas, but to subvert expectations in such a way, you're subverting expectations in not a really cool way. It's just like, oh, you're showing me that you can subvert expectations. I don't know if I like that, right? Amala says could have done without. The last 40 minutes are crazy, and yeah, the movie does get better when we get out of that. Here we're chasing you kind of thing. Because it's clear that one of the sisters there, is not all that invested in it, and you don't take her that seriously. And again, as I'm saying, James, you're just supposed to turn off your brain, but you don't believe her. You don't believe her, and it sucks because we like her as an actress. We really do, and I blame the directors for this. I have to. So as you can see, I'm a little bit let down. I didn't hate my time in the theater. It was a curious watch. It's worth watching, but it's not something that's like top tier. That's what I would have to say. So let's wrap this up with my score sheet on the watchability factor. That's out of a possible 2 points. And as I said, if you like the first movie, then it's worth checking out. If you like Samara Weaving, you like Team Radio Silence, we're sitting on about a 5 out of 10. Is it better than that, James? Okay. I'm going to give 1.5 for the acting because of Samara Weaving, because of Sarah Michelle Gellar. And Elijah Wood's also really good in this. He's playing like this lawyer to the Beelzebub. It's just like, okay, fine. That's fun. That's what we want to see. But as I said, I think that the script and the directing really let this one down. And if you take a moment to take a look at what's happening and what's being said from the mouths of these characters, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. 5.5 out of 10 is low for me to say that I like this, and I did. I did like this. I just don't find myself ever going back to revisit it. And does it make me curious for a third one? Well, they kind of ended it in such a way that I don't know if there needs to be, how there could be a third one. Yeah, that's what I say. You know what? You want to see a good movie? Go see Project Hail Mary that we just also reviewed here on the channel. And let me know your thoughts about it right here on Mirror Domains.